Knock, knock. What's up, gamers? Squirrely's at the door. You better answer. I got the goodies. Hey guys, what's up? Squirrely here. Thanks for joining me on this video as always. I appreciate the love of my last videos talking about, hey, all class hats and multi-class hats are crashing and high tier first gens are going down, and what's going on with all this chaos. And it got me thinking of these different trends and transitions that are happening. And one big one that comes up every single year around this time is, are Halloween spells coming back? And this year is no different. As far as I know, spells have been retired for, 4 or 5 years, maybe, I don't know, maybe longer. But I think I'm a pretty good person to talk about these because for a long time, that 4 or 5 year period, I had the biggest spell collection in the world by far. No one was even close. I had like double or double and a half of the next person. So I basically had 3 backpacks full of these double spells. Most of them are double spells. And I mean, I was a legit collector. I was going out of my way to hunt and track down other collectors and find specific hats. And I wanted the nice stuff. I had a lot of just kind of generic all-class hats with single spell or just 2 cheap double spells. But eventually I was collecting sets and combos and the high-tier stranges and like, strange flogs and Australiums and hats that came out after the Halloween update and glitching them onto there. And I was into it. I was making these combos and sets and collecting max heads and just super, super popular items and just throwing on like really expensive rare spells on them. And the prices that you could sell them for were insane. I still think to this day, I gotta make a video on it, but I think spell trading back in its prime, which I think has kind of been a little muddied up since there's a lot more people have spells, probably because I sold like 3,000 spells, so now they're all out floating around there in the economy. So if you look up the history of a lot of double spelled items, the nicer ones, you might see my name in the history. But in their prime, you can still do this, but not as much. I think spells had the biggest profit margin by far. I mean, if you buy an unusual hat for like 10 keys and you sell it for 15, you made 50% profit, right? You're like, wow, that's a great turnaround. I made 50%. Even if you double it, you bought a hat for 10, you sold it for 20, you made 100%, you doubled your money. Awesome. Spells are the only items that I can think of that you could legitimately buy it for 10 cents and sell it for like 5 or 10 keys. And I did that all the time, just buy and sell nonstop. And I knew how to find them, what was hot, what was popular, what people would pay a fortune for. And I was selling to collectors. And then I started selling to just more general traders. And spells are just awesome, especially to me. I really went out of my way and spent a lot of time and money collecting them, and I just kind of got lucky that they stayed retired and they just never came out. But every single year, I was kind of hoping they would come back. It was only up until this last year that I decided to sell a bunch of them, but I was collecting them like crazy, and I was putting them on new items and looking for the really rare ones, and it was just a kind of a fun thing to do because I just got bored of regular trading. Once you've owned all your dream hats and you've collected a bunch of god tier stuff, you kind of just get bored. I mean, it's easy to say after the fact, but I mean, if you guys ever get there and you collect your dream hat, what happens pretty soon after it? You want a different dream hat, and you want a different item, and you want to kind of move up the chain and just see, you're more about challenging yourself. So spells for me kind of filled that niche because there's like this never-ending sea of collecting really high-tier items and seeing how much I could get it for. If I could sell something for 5,000 times profit, that's pretty cool. You can find, a double-spelled whatever flog, buy it for 10 ref, and then you flip it around for 10 keys. It's pretty exciting. So I was doing that for a long time, but spells are something that to me are just like mini unusuals. They're so cool. I'll try to link you guys in the description to some of my old videos on my old beat up computer, which I don't have anymore luckily, but I made a couple of videos on cosmetic sets. I had sold a lot of my stuff already back then, but I still had enough to kind of make some sets for each class. So check out the comments or check out the description of this video. I will have a link to some of the spell cosmetic combos that I had for Spy and Soldier and Demo and all that stuff. So they're pretty cool. Anyways, there's a whole tier of spells, and every year the same question arises: are they coming back? What's going to happen if they come back? Is that economy of spell trading going to crash or go up, or what's going to happen? But a lot of people ask my opinion because I was the spell guy for a very long time. I mean, I don't know how many people I had messaging me or adding me, will you please sell this spell, or can you find this spell for me, or have you ever seen this spell, or does this exist, and how much can I get for that? So it was kind of just became my niche, and I just got lucky that spells stayed retired for so many years because the price just went up and up and up and up. And although I benefited from it every year, I do kind of wish they come back. And this year is the same. I'm really hoping spells come back, and I have a couple of theories, I think, that they might come back and why they might not come back. So if spells come back, first thing people ask is this going to crash? Is this going to change anything? Well, if you're a spell collector like myself and you never sold out your spells, of course they're going to crash because a bunch of them, now anyone can get them again. You get them for free, you can trade for them, you can buy them on the Steam market. They're going to go all over the place, so the price of them in general is going to crash. But they've been expired, or retired I should say, for so many years that just the really high tier ones are just not for sale. People stop playing, they're locked away in backpacks, or they're asking like $1 bajillion for it and they never get sold. So this would be nice to get a new inflection, or a new a whole new flush of spells onto the market that will kind of, now you can apply spells to new items that just you couldn't do before. Now, back in the day, there was a glitch you could do. I did this for quite a while until they patched it, where you could actually put spells on newer items, basically, that came out after the spells expired or retired. So you could find someone who has not logged in their TF2 account yet, hasn't booted up. You could trade the spell, then you jump on yours and apply it right away before basically you would realize that there's a spell and these aren't supposed to exist, but they patched that, unfortunately. So there's a whole slew of skinned weapons, new hats, new unusuals, new all kinds of stuff that you can't put spells on because they've been gone for so long. So that would be pretty cool to put spells on new skins. I mean, there's a lot of cool skins that I would buy if they were double spelled. A lot of times I just prefer to keep the old stuff because I can get spells on them. And I'd rather have spells than just a new skin with nothing on it. So that's just me personally. But do I think it would kill the market? It would just change it. So although the older weapons and older items that have spells, they would probably drop, the newer stuff might go up because now you can put spells, and the spells would eventually run out. So it's not like spells are around forever. They're out for a short period of time during the Scream Fortress update, so you got to use it right away, or you have to earn them too. So you got to play the game to get them, or you can buy them. But once people use them up, they're gone. So there'll be a short window of time where all these spells are flooding the market. They're going to get used on different items, though. So if someone didn't use it on an item, it could still be high tier or popular because people just didn't happen to put it on that, or it's not for sale. So I think the old school items that have spells would probably drop, but the newer stuff that you can apply things to would probably go up in price after the update finishes. Now, as far as do I think they will do it? Will Valve release new spells? I don't know. So they might release them because if Valve is behind track, or they're lazy, or they're focusing, I shouldn't say lazy, I don't think they're lazy, but they're focusing on something else, like there's a big update for Smith's coming, or they have another big patch coming for competitive or whatever. I hope there's an MVM update coming up. That's a new topic, but from what I've heard, they're working on another pretty big update. So Halloween Scream Fortress usually isn't a huge update. I mean, what they've done last, I don't know how many years, is basically here's the Halloween maps you can play again. Here's a new case and a new key, and Scream Fortress is on. Go have fun. That's kind of it. It's the same kind of thing over and over. Usually not any new maps. There's just a couple of new cosmetics, a new key. Hopefully there's new unusuals, and I'm probably gonna make a video on that because there's some really, really nice unusuals on the showcase on Steam Workshop. But I don't know if they're gonna do it because Valve also has a history of never going back to finish things. So if you think about MVM has been out for a long time. We've had like one MVM update, and that was it. If you go back and look at some of the old maps, like Arty Asteroid and some other ones, they released a beta and never ever came back to it many years later. So I'm kind of worried that they made spells and it came out, I think, once or twice after that, and I'm just worried that they'll just never come back to it. Like, oh, those spells, yeah, we'll do something else. We're never going to do those again. And then it's kind of unfortunate because, like I said, all these new skins and weapons and unusuals and things that have come out since then, you can't put spells on them, which is kind of cool. So in my gut, I think there's a higher chance they would release spells because they don't have time to put out a big update. So they might just say, okay, we're going to release Scream Fortress, new keys, new cosmetics, a new crate. You can play the maps and we'll just, spells are dropping again. Cool, because that would be super easy for them to do. I think just make spells come out again like they have before. But the other part of me is thinking, well, for Valve time, they tend to not go back and finish things, so chances are they're not going to bring them back. But who knows? Anything is possible with Valve. They could make a huge Scream Fortress update and bring back spells and bring back all this crazy new stuff that no one was expecting, and it's a huge update. Or it could be same old, same old. It's just a kind of a generic update. But I love Scream Fortress no matter what. Halloween is always one of my favorite updates. The maps are fun. It's totally goofy. The unusuals are usually pretty awesome. The different games you can play on there. There's a map in particular, I think it's called Maple Ridge or Maple something. It's a cough map. I could play that map forever as a demo or a soldier or an NG. That map is just super, super fun. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think spells are going to come back this update? Do you think spells are ever going to come back? Or is Valve done with them and they had their time and they're never coming back? Or maybe, which would be super awesome, they will release new spells. So different colored paint, different colored things for your weapon. Instead of purple trails, maybe you get green trails. Or instead of pumpkin bombs, you get, like, I don't know, blue bombs or yellow bombs or something like that. But I don't know. That's kind of wishful thinking, but let me know what you guys think of the comment. Have you ever owned spelled items? Do you have any experience with buying or selling them? Do you think they're overpriced and overhyped, or do you think they're a really good profit making machine? Have you ever kind of traded them? And just, I'm kind of curious what your guys' opinion is. Do you think they're going to come out? And do you hope they come out? Yes or no? I'm kind of curious. So thanks for the support, you guys. This is YouTube. You know what to do. Have a great one, and maybe I will see you in game. Peace.